gotta tell you guys, I'm super excited because behind me is a truck that I've been looking for almost 30 years. So like many of you guys, I was taking a little break in the shop and I was doom scrolling Facebook Marketplace and I found something really interesting. It was a post about a Comanche that said it was super rare. Now I normally wouldn't even clicked on it, but when I saw rare, I was like, oh, maybe it's another 91 or a 92 Comanche. But to my surprise, it was actually what I think was my dad's Jeep Comanche, the very first Comanche he ever bought. So back in the 1900s, my mom was driving me and my brother to school in a 1988 Suzuki Samurai. Now you can imagine living at 9,500 feet with two teenage boys with football gear trying to fit in a Suzuki Samurai. And also these things aren't known for having very good heaters. Well, and we live in the mountains in the winter. So my dad traded it in and got my mom a 1988 Jeep Cherokee. He liked it so much that in that same week, he bought himself a 1988 Jeep Comanche. And I know this is what started the unibody craze for me because at the time, these were the only Jeeps that were even affordable for people that couldn't afford Jeep Wranglers or old CJs. And come to find out, they were pretty good off-roaders, minus the whole no frame thing, but we don't worry about that. Now, ultimately, my mom ended up upgrading into a 98 Jeep Grand Cherokee, yeah, the limited 5.9 edition, and I was able to buy the Cherokee from her. Funny story, I actually proposed to Shanna in that Cherokee.
He's a real romantic, isn't he, ladies?
But during the time that my parents owned it, my dad had done a lot of work to it and the Comanche. He put Lund visors on both the Jeeps. We put 3-inch rough country lifts on them with Heckathorn shocks. Do some of you guys even remember what a Heckathorn shock looked like? In the Comanche, he also added a little shelf that went right above your windshield. You couldn't really see anything out of it, but it was good for him to hold his binoculars. He put some 30-inch tires on it, and we even actually swapped the motor out in the Comanche because for some reason the Cherokee had way more power, and he thought maybe putting a new motor in the Comanche would make the difference, but it actually didn't. But somewhere in 1998, 1999, my dad actually gave me the opportunity to get the Comanche from him, and I just didn't do it. I don't know why. That's one of the vehicles I always wish I could get. That was the very first Comanche I ever drove. So I ended up selling it, and I had never seen it again until this Facebook Marketplace post. Now, at this point, I'm not 100% sure that it is the Comanche. So I asked them if they could send me a picture of the headliner, knowing that my dad had put that shelf in there. And lo and behold, he took the shelf out, but still has it. Now, if you guys remember, I picked up my 91 Jeep Comanche from Vern and built that thing in 28 days. And I'll be honest with you, I really didn't have any desire to buy another Jeep Comanche unless it was this one. So we're gonna get on the road and hopefully it's my dad's truck. So we got the trailer loaded up. We're gonna take off first thing in the morning, see if we can find this thing. So it's early in the morning, we're on the road. Shanna's here. I must be excited because I am super tired and I did not sleep well. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I don't know why. I laid in bed, but I'm just tired. It's unusually cold here for this time of year. It's only 38 degrees, but let's hit the road.
These days the night shift cutie at the truck stop knows my name. Threw the candle in the midnight oil and lit up the honky-tonk highway. I see the sun come up, cause I ain't been to bed. Gonna have my name cut into a stone when I lay my head. No rest for the wicked, at least for a few hundred miles. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. But I got bad down to my bones, don't know where I'm gonna go, oh, sweet time, I'm running wild.
So we just drove through the town of Chama, New Mexico, and it has gotten drastically colder. We're now at 23 degrees and 10,000 feet in elevation, if you don't see the snow. And ice. I like to pull over here and stretch our legs for a minute. I'm pretty sure this little rock quarry is so that they can get dirt, fresh dirt to put on the roads because, well, it's already winter up here. We've been kind of chasing the sun as we've been driving, so eventually it's actually gonna come up and stay up, hopefully. Otherwise, it's a little cold out here to stretch today, so I think we're gonna get back on the road. Let's go. And yes, Shanna does sit next to me on long road trips.
Always.
A lot of people think New Mexico is just desert, but actually it has all kinds of mountains, streams, creeks, and a lot of geological changes.
Welcome to Colorado.
Continue on US 160 East for 5 miles.
All right, we've been up early. Feel like we deserve some breakfast.
Yes.
Well, that was delicious and totally worth it. I would say if you're ever in Fort Garland, Colorado, you should go to Dell's Diner. Get a burrito.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Taking the fastest way to Beulah, Colorado. So if you guys aren't familiar with where that is, it's kind of southwest of Pueblo. There really isn't a quick way there from the direction we're coming from. So we're driving on smaller 2-lane roads. So even though we're on just this little 2-lane road, we still gotta go 18 miles before we get to the truck. But I can tell you guys, I'm getting pretty excited to see this thing. You know, I haven't seen it. Shanna's never seen it in person because this was even before Shanna and I started dating. You might have been doing taekwondo stuff in Texas at that point.
Yeah, I was still a fighter back then.
Oh, now we're on dirt road even.
Oh, there you
Sweet. We got 17 miles of this. It's gonna be so worth it. Find this, like, I was pretty stoked.
The brackets Dad made.
I think they did this. I think Ralph made it, which was kind of like my uncle, because he was the aluminum guy. He made a whole trailer like for his quad. Like, you know how you see overland trailers now? He did that in the late 90s.
Yeah. His eyes like lit up.
I know. So sweet. Whenever this came up for sale and he showed me, he was like, Shanna, look at this. I was like, what? He goes, that's Dad's Comanche. I was like, no. He goes, no, that's Dad's Comanche. Oh,
we were minutes.
Like,
we were minutes away from selling it to some kid from
this
Utah.
really nice kid in Utah.
And you
who
contacted us just in time to get out of that.
Yeah. And that's why he was kind of like, well, he was saying all these things, and we had this guy in Utah who was really sweet, and we were like going for it.
Yeah.
And then we're like, what are the chances? It's his dad's truck. And so we're like, well, let me see. And so we started digging, and Evan, it's like late at night, and we're coming out in the dark with the flashlight and looking. We're like, oh my God, this might be his dad's car.
Everything he's saying is there.
So cool. And so we're like, oh, we can't not sell it to this guy. I mean, and we're like, hey Todd, we really love you, man, in Utah, but how can we not, right?
Yeah.
So Todd's like cheering for him. We're all cheering for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Todd's like, well, let him know I have a 4.0 engine in Utah. If he needs an engine, we can put you guys in touch with each other.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right on.
We're good.
Yes.
We feel so good about that.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love
so
it.
sweet.
Idea number 3. Winner.
We're good to go.
What a super cool couple. So they were about 2 minutes away from selling it to somebody else when I messaged them. So they were actually willing to listen, and I sent them pictures to show them that this was my dad's old truck. It definitely needs some work, but let's head back and we'll go through it and just check it all out.
Just you wait, listen for the storm. Hear the difference in the wind.
guys have ever seen these, those are snow fences that they put in to keep drifts from blowing on the road. And I used to have a guy working for me out of Oklahoma, and we were driving across Wyoming, and it was pretty desolate. And he told me, he's like, man, it must suck to live here where they have to put bleachers up on the side of the highway because they just can watch cars. That's all they can do. He didn't realize it was snow fence.
Man will keep himself in shame. Ask a painful past he overcame. Oh, yes.
All right, we've made it to Alamosa. This thing barely made it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just do one of those. We're gonna go to Chili's. Baby back ribs.
Chili's baby back ribs.
Get in my belly!
Oh man, that was a long drive, but we made it home. We're gonna run it in here real quick because my brother's here and I want him to be able to see it in a little bit of light. So my mom and my brother are here to see this truck. Come on in here. I think so. If not, I can move stuff. Do you remember the truck, Mom?
I remember the truck.
Yeah?
I remember it.
You remember the Lund visor?
I remember that visor.
And what's cool is, you know how Dad put these on here? He told me the front one was on there, but he touched it and it broke like that did, so he took it off.
Oh.
And he's like, well, it used to have a shelf, but I took it out. And I was like, do you still have it? Because I remember helping Dad put this in.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, and it was up there and it'd be right in your line of sight. You remember the tow bar?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He built one for your Cherokee too.
And he built one
Yeah.
for my Cherokee too.
Yep, I think I might still have that one in the shed somewhere. So I think I took it off. Chad will for sure remember these shocks. Look at that shock.
The Heckathorn.
It's the shocks. Like we put those on.
Rough country.
Yep, the rough country
We
Heckathorns.
had to put the stickers on.
You boys put them on?
Yeah.
This was Dad.
Oh yeah, that's Dad.
This was not Dad.
No, not at all. I told the guy before even going to the back of the truck, I said, I can guarantee that if this is my dad's truck, it has a round 4 plug on it and not a flat 4, because he couldn't stand the wires hanging off the back of the truck. It drove him nuts. I walked back and I saw that and I was like, oh no. But then I was like, oh yes. I was like, somebody tapped into it and put a flat 4 that Dad would have drove him nuts for that. But that round one, especially with rivets, because he hated screws.
We gotta find Mom's Cherokee now.
Right?
The last time I saw that, it was wrecked. So I'm gonna say that it didn't survive.
So this truck, I was 14 probably, drove it up a steep hill and put it in park and had me switch sides with him. And he said, all right, start the truck, pull forward without rolling backwards.
Yeah, that's what he did to me.
That's how he taught me how to drive a clutch.
Yep. I shot rocks all the way to New Mexico. Yeah, you can see where somebody scraped off the old pinstripes, the old Pioneer pinstripes, because you used to have the Pioneer pinstripes here. There were 2 different shades of red, and then it said Pioneer. The Jeep said it was red too. I would like to bring it back to the way it was. Yeah, he asked me, he's like, you think your dad put the cigarette burn in the seat? And I was like, could be. He smoked then. Yeah, that's possible.
It's love.
Needs a lot of love. You want to know something crazy I just noticed? I think this was the tires that he had on it. Those are BFG mud terrains.
The spare was Dad's spare?
Yeah, it should be like a 30. It was a 3950 is what he put on them. Let's see what that says. 3950 15. Dude, that was the tires that he had on the truck. Is now the spare.
Oh, darn.
What do you think, Mom?
Yes, it is. And I love seeing you so excited to have it.
Yeah, I am.
This is definitely Dad's doing. Like, make a piece of aluminum, rivet it, hold it together.
Yep. All right, Toyota boy.
That's too cool.
Guys are hard on your stuff.
So it was super cool that my brother stayed around last night and got to see this thing, and my mom saw it, and they're 100% sure, just like myself, that this was my dad's old truck. And there's a few solid giveaways of knowing why it's his. I want to show you guys those right now. All right, we know it's got a knocking motor, so I don't want to try to start it. It doesn't have a battery in it anyway. We do want to get it off the trailer. Well, I'm glad the clutch kind of works because I had no brakes there. I had the brakes pushed all the way to the floor, rolled back. I just shoved it in first and then put it in gear, dumped the clutch. That's what the was. That was a wee bit on the sketchy side. I didn't want to have to go through my neighbor's fence to stop it. He warned me that it kind of had a mouse smell. It didn't have it before, but ooh, man, it definitely does. When I pop the door open today, it's like, yeah, smells like a mouse in here for sure. Anybody have a good slider window for a Comanche? Because this is some, looks like they broke the thing, and so their response to it was just tape it up. Proud to be an American. Checkers. Glad the headliner is still here at least. Might be missing the interior, but at least it's here. And looks like this door has been worked on because they hit something and ripped the door off. That's probably why this is all jankered up. Like the door shuts, but it's definitely not square. Way too much Bondo in here. There's Bondo here, I can tell. And there's Bondo here because none of this lines up. They just tried to fill it. I don't like body work, but Bondo is not a dent fixer. It's a metal massager. Some people use it to replace a dent. Man, that makes me sad. Look at how this thing's just like bubbles out. Like they should have pulled the dent out and then used it to smooth it, not to actually make a new panel. That breaks my heart a little bit in here. Not just because it was my dad's old truck. Oh, Bondo. That's like something I did in high school. I think I'm gonna see if I can get Shanna to steer this thing while I push it up towards the shop. You turn a couple clicks. Some of the things that confirmed that this was my dad's old truck, outside of the very obvious, the Lund visor, which wasn't super common on a lot of Jeeps. I don't remember any other Comanche ever seeing one on one. So, I mean, that's one. Obviously the original color and the Pioneer paint job, which you can barely see left. The red lettering of the Jeep, the Brahma top, and the uber rare shelf that actually used to sit right across here. But here's a few other things. I remember my dad making this. This is a bracket that he made so he could tow this thing. Like I've mentioned before, my dad did not like wires hanging down, so he made this so that he could tow it just like a trailer, plug it in, and then use the factory taillights off of a tow hitch. He also didn't like screws, and he was a big fan of rivets. That's a very stand-up point of my dad's. He also didn't like the flat 4 plugs on a trailer hitch because he hated how the wire hung down and just got in the way, which in the last 20 some years somebody's done that, but here's his right there with the rivets. And I believe he got that old tow hitch from my Uncle Butch. It is farmer fab. He also put this on. This is something my brother reminded me about. This is supposed to keep dirt and snow and ice off of your window. It was supposed to help with that. He put one on the Cherokee as well. I remember my dad putting these mag wheels on here. He loved this style of wheel, like loved it. Also, it might be kind of hard to tell, but the back end sits quite a bit taller than the front end. Easiest way to show that, the front always has a higher fender flare to the body line, and you can see how much room's here, and the rear is even lower on the fender flare to the body line. The reason for that is because in the late 90s, people weren't lifting these Comanches yet, and he bought the 3-inch lift from Rough Country, and they sent him Cherokee leaf springs. To my recollection, it's been many years, but I believe they made it right. They took the leaf springs back and then paid to have these ones made at the local spring shop. So he went to Rocky Mountain Spring, had them sprung, but they sit really tall. Like they made it like a 4 to 6 inch lift. And if you took the top off, it sat even more rigged. And I remember putting these shocks on. Yep, those are Heckathorns, still on there 30 years later. My dad was a huge BFG fan, and when he got these wheels, he put some 30-inch BFGs on. And I remember they were 3950-15 BFG mud terrains. Now here's a funny thing. If you remember the first picture where the Jeep was stocked before we put the lift on, it had the white wheels. There's a white wheel. There's a completely wore out BFG mud terrain. And if we climb under here, that says 3950-15. Is there a DOT date code on this thing? Because I guarantee it's 1997 or 1998. You can see what all those years are rusted to it. Now, some of the other things that my dad had, he loved accessories. Little window guards. You can still see the tape here from the one that's on this side. The other side's broke. And he had the bug deflector like I kept on my S10, because that S10 had one. And you can see very small amounts of where that bug deflector was. It also kind of helps save your windshield, so it kicks the rocks up above your truck. Now, when I was a teenager, I was able to climb through that. I don't remember the 8-ball shifter, so I think that was somebody else. Along with this, my dad would have never done this. Not just sitting there. That would have drove him banana cakes. But something he did do was this. Aluminum pieces of sheet metal that are riveted in and then bolted back in with the regular screw. That is a dad special 100%. Messed up stuff here. I don't even know what this is. Some sort of vacuum. Trying to plug the vacuum off for the map sensor. Wires are shot. Looking pretty rough. Look at the power wire. The ground wire, the wires going to the starter. Look at how bad that one is, that ground. Ain't much left of that one. Ooh. If you guys saw in the pictures, the ladder rack that was originally on here, and I remember my dad actually selling that, or selling the truck and taking that off, because that's what he put on his 99 Chevy. That was the first new truck he ever bought, was a 1999 Chevy pickup, and he put that ladder rack on it, customized it to fit that. And I believe my Uncle Ralph made these just so they could still hold stuff up here. He had plastic caps in it. There's one right there. So you could still use it to hold small amounts of stuff. I think that's not horrible, but not great. What kills me is what they did with the doors. I don't know why they took off the original doors and put these on, but these are not original. That one's done pretty decent. That one's not. This one needs some real life work. But all in all, this is 100% my dad's old truck. This was his very first Comanche. This was the very first Jeep Comanche I ever drove. I really feel blessed to have it back. Now let's get into the problems that this thing's got. Number one, he told me it has a knocking motor. He said, you don't even want to try to start it. He said he started knocking, he turned it off, and thinks he could probably salvage it by just pulling the pan maybe and changing out bearings, but I don't know. This is a truck that has the Peugeot 5-speed. Now, if you're unfamiliar with that, it's a split case 5-speed transmission. I never had a problem with that, except that the clutch slave cylinder is actually inside the bell housing. So if you ever have to change it, you have to pull your entire transmission just to change that thing out. Secondly is the body. Whatever they did with the door on this driver's side and the cab, it is jacked up. So I probably need to find a junkyard Comanche that I can rob those parts off of and try to fix that. Thirdly would be, do I even want to just replace the motor? Because the wiring is so bad on this thing, so dry rotted and so old, I'd almost need an entire new wiring harness. And let's face it, this is the old Renix stuff, not super great. Now obviously I still got some things to fix in here. The headliner, I 100% want to put the shelf back in. I do have new door locks that Evan sold with the truck, and I'm sure these shocks are on their way out. I do think I'd like to just freshen up the suspension, maybe put a 4-inch lift, keep it short arm. I don't want to put a long arm on, more or less just because I don't want to be cutting this thing up any worse than I have to. This may be the time that I phone a friend for paint and body work. And the plus side is, if you guys remember the Comanche I built, I pulled axles out, Dana 44, Dana 30, that are already built, so we can put those right in and they'll bolt right up. The major thing is, though, is there's not a rush on it because, well, I got a Samurai to build and I want to do this thing right. Now, what I don't want to do is LS swap it. I want to have 6 cylinders or less, whether it's a newer 4-liter and maybe a 6-speed manual or something like that. So knowing that the motor's bad, knowing that the transmission isn't desirable, knowing that I got a 231 already that's built up pretty good, what do I want to do for drivetrain? So if you guys know somebody that has some good drivetrain, maybe out of a newer Jeep, like I said, I want to keep it a manual transmission though, hit me up. I think it'd be super cool to find a 2005 or 2006 with like a rotted frame that I could take the 4-liter 6-speed manual and the whole thing and put it in this truck. Yeah, like the boys at JMR say, we got to make trucks great again. I think this is one of them.
What word can you make shorter by adding 2 letters?
What word can you make shorter by adding 2 letters?
Yes.
3 from 4? No, that's only one. I don't know.
Short.
Short. Yes. Well, we appreciate you guys watching. If you guys got some ideas or you know something we should do to this thing, please let me know down there. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everybody.